Okay, so in this video, what we're going to do is just have a mini lesson on how to create a shape in Davinci Resolve here. And we're going to do that in the Fusion page. And by the end of the video, I'll show you how to animate that shape. And so this is just going to be a quick mini lesson. And creating and animating shapes is really important because you can create some really cool and interesting graphics to improve the retention on your videos, okay? So first off, let's start here. Right click, and we're going to do a new Fusion composition. And then we're just going to name that shape animation. Let's create that. It's over here now in our pull. We're going to pull that down here over the clip, put the playhead over the clip, and then let's go into the Fusion screen here, Fusion tab. Okay, so here you'll see a media out node. What we want to do is to go up here in the node section and pull down a background node, okay? Let's connect that background node to the media node. Now you'll see in the right viewport that it is black and we can see that background, okay? Now let's just go ahead and make that background, let's say, white. So we're going to change the color here and let's just make that background white. Okay, so now we have a nice clean white background. So now let's create a shape. And so to do that, hit Shift spacebar and let's type in S rectangle. You see it come up here. Let's add that shape. Okay, now we see that rectangle on the screen, but it doesn't really show. It's just an outline at this point. To make it really show, let's hit Shift spacebar again, and let's hit S render. S render helps us to see our shapes. And so now let's connect that rectangle to the background input of S render. And then now what we want to do is connect the S render input to the background input here in the main timeline, or our main timeline that we're showing here. And it's going to create a merge, okay? And so now let's go back to the rectangle. Let's go to style. Now let's go ahead and make that color a nice orange. Okay, so very good. And so now we have created a nice orange rectangle here. Actually, let's make it a nice yellow instead. There we go. Very nice. And so now we've created a nice yellow rectangle. And we can move this rectangle around. We can change the size of it. All these neat things. Now it's on our screen. Okay? But if we want to animate this rectangle, move it around more, what we need to do is to hit Shift spacebar here again. And now let's put in S transform. Let's try that again. S transform. S transform will allow us to actually transform that shape on the screen. And so let's grab this node here, hit the Shift button, and then let's pull it over here on this line until we see it coming blue. Now it's connected. So now we can use this S transform node here to move this shape around. So I'll show you how to do that. And so up here we see our key frames, which will help us to animate this shape. And they go all the way through 120, 119, 120, okay? And so let's move this shape. Let's choose S transform. Let's go over to the inspector here, and then let's go over to the Y offset, and let's move this shape over to the far left. All right. Now we have our playhead all the way over to 0 for X offset, not Y. Let's go ahead and put a keyframe here, okay? And then now let's go to keyframe 20 here. And then now let's go to X offset and let's move it all the way across the screen. And you'll see that over to the right, it added a keyframe already automatically for us. Now, if we go back and move the playhead around, we see that we've animated a shape, right? So let's hit play, and you see that shape, it animates. And so that's it. And so that's our first mini lesson here. What we've done is we have created a fusion composition. We created a shape that we can now manipulate and use, and we animated that shape, okay? Again, animating these shapes can help us to make some really interesting graphics, like title graphics and other graphics that can help you to have good retention on your videos. And so if you'd like to see more mini lessons on how to animate shapes and make your videos better and more interesting, just click subscribe and like the video, and then we'll do it again maybe in another mini lesson number 2. Okay, thanks for watching.